Welcome back to Diamond Owl Studios, the greatest reaction channel in the entire galaxy. You know who it is. It's the one and only Diamond Don Juan. And today I've got a special guest.
Hi everybody, my name is Yashii and I'm here reacting to music that I've never heard before, so I'm really excited to see what we have today.
Yeah, this is always a fun one because I feel like it takes people on a journey.
Okay,
And I
as
don't wanna
long as
give
I
away.
don't cry.
No crying. Have you cried yet?
No,
Okay.
I have not.
All right. So today we're reacting to none other than one of our favorites on the channel. It's Ren, and we are going to be doing Hi Ren. So without further ado, I'm going to bring it up and we're going to dive right in.
Okay,
All right.
but
Hi there, Ran. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down, you know that. Deep down, you know I'm always in periphery. Ran, on you pleased to see me. It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me. Hi, Ran. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately. And I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill. Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect to always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy. Nah, mate. This time is different, man. Trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help. You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one, so you see. You gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere. Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat. No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with his subconscious, Eminem did it. Played on guitar, Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck.
Initial thoughts.
Dang, that is good. I was like so pulled into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really good. I'm not tearing up, I swear.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely one of those songs that it goes on a journey, so tears could be something that flow.
Oh,
But we still got a long way to go. So
okay.
The people's material. Ran, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck you, I don't need you, I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves, and I'll shake up the whole world beneath us. That's right, speak your truth, your fucking god complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to actually hear you say it instead of downplay it. Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus. Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren. Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren. I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots, and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside. Newsflash, I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason. Beheading all kings, I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mephistopheles, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender. When standing in front of my solar eclipse, my name is stitched to your lips. So you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal. Feeble and normal, you wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, friend. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So cower at the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs. That I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspire that me to be strong. And when I am gone, I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a coin minted different side.
So, what do you think so far?
Speechless, I think.
Yeah.
Because the message, it's so good. I feel like it's something everyone goes through, no matter what industry you're in. So,
Yeah, definitely. I know that, you know, we've done quite a few reactions to this song, but it is one of those things that draws you in every time. I mean, there's so much to it in the messaging. And I think, you know, for me, the underlying, you know, story is that there is always that battle, I think, in your own head with yourself of, you know, the self-doubt.
100%.
And it doesn't matter like who you are or what you're doing, whether you're a creative, artistic, or, you know, going for that job interview. I feel like most of us, it's just so human to have that moment where it's like, oh, am I good enough or I'm not good enough? And sometimes it's surprising. It's like the people that you would think are the most confident
Are not.
Yeah. And I think that's something, at least I'll just speak for myself. Like as a human being, I know that at times, like I want to put on a certain, you know, persona and, you know, carrying myself as a certain person, even if it's just to like uplift other people's spirits. Like I don't want to walk around like a Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
But then sometimes in my head, I'm just like,
Oh, why are you here? What are you doing?
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
I relate to that 100%. I have like 2 personas. I have my artistic side, but I'm also in the corporate world. So it's like 2 different sides to me that no one really gets to see.
Yeah, I feel like that's something too, that it's like I don't, it's like, I don't want to say it's like masks, but there are versions of myself that I show in certain parts of my life because it's like I'm a different person with my
Yeah.
mom than I am with my friends. And it's not like it's an out of integrity for me. It's just like I'm not going to joke with my mom the way that I do with like Chase, And
Yeah.
so it's like we have to kind of play these different roles in different environments. And so, it's
No,
interesting.
100%.
Yeah.
When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas, that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax. And I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
There you have it.
Wow. That is such a deep message. And I don't know what to say. Honestly, I need to sit down and think about it and probably go rewatch it again because that was a lot to unpack.
There is a lot to unpack. I mean, it is a very, intense song in a lot of ways, very deep song. And his story, as you like learn more about him, I think it brings more of the song to life because he has Lyme disease. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yep.
And so it like hits close to home for me because my brother actually has Lyme disease.
Oh my God.
And he got it. We were working together. It's something that like I convinced him to like, hey, you should come work with me. I have this great opportunity. We went to Oklahoma. He gets like bit by a tick. And I remember him distinctly being like, hey, does this look weird? What do you think this is? And I'm just like, quit being a pussy. Like, rub some dirt on it. And then like for years, he was going through these struggles of, I remember trying to get him to work out with me. And he would talk about like every time that we would work out, he's like, I don't know what it is, but like I get like inflamed, like I feel nauseous. And like he'd go to the doctor and they would say that nothing was wrong. And so a lot of what happens was specifically with Lyme disease is that it's just hard to diagnose.
Mm-hmm.
And so you will go to a doctor, or in like this instance, I mean, I can be honest, like I just, was kind of just looking at my brother, like, what is, like, quit, quit being a bitch. Like that's just me being honest. Like, and I, when I saw this, I actually, when I heard more of his story, like I cried because it made me realize that like he had been going through this thing and going through all this like psychological turmoil and not knowing what was wrong with his body and going to doctors and them not knowing what was wrong with him. And then, and his own family just kind of looking at him like, what, what is going on?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like so pronounced that it was like very clear. It was just like these little, like, being tired and, like I said, these weird things that would happen when he would do like an intense workout and just feel like really run down. And, I kind of just brushed it off. But, that's what part of his story is like having gone through that. And then also one of the reasons I really respect him is because of his ability to be creative through that process, like even throughout his sickness and like feeling ill, like still forcing himself to sit down and write songs and go through the creative process.
It takes a lot of hard work to do that too.
Yeah. And I think that's like, sometimes I think it's challenging for everybody. It's like, do you just work out on the days where you feel good, or do you, or do you, it's
You
like,
gotta schedule your life out based on this disease. So
yeah. But even just in normal life, I think it's hard sometimes to like,
it really is.
when you're not in like the best mood or not feeling well, it's like sometimes you just got to get up and like do
Take a
that
break.
things and
Yeah.
do the actions, and can be a challenge.
Well, I hope your brother's okay now that he got
He's done a lot better now that he
diagnosed.
actually
Okay,
has
good.
the diagnosis and knows what's going on. And now, it's becoming something that's more known about. And so they're like specialists, but it's still very, mysterious. Like in Ren's case, he's gone back into remission and really struggled with it at various times. So it's not something that there's really like a cure for, that they have like a solution. And that's the thing that's really scary about it, is that there's no like, it affects everybody differently. So one person might have these like very minimalistic or smaller symptoms, and other people have like really intense, severe reaction.
I'm so sorry to hear that, but I hope we do more research on diseases like this and to break through.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely, something that's like under, I think, explored. There's not like a ton of money, I think, that's gone into that type of research, unfortunately. But nonetheless, it's amazing that he's able to give us this amazing art and creativity despite that. So that's really a credit to him.
That story just makes me want to keep listening to him on repeat, because the amount of hard work and the thoughts put behind the message in this specific song is just, like I said, I was speechless from the beginning. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. And this is interesting because like he's so diverse as an artist that if I were to tell you, like, try to explain like what he does, like I'd have to take the next 20 minutes. So that's one of the things that's super fun, especially about like introducing people to new music and artists, specifically like Ren, is that he actually does all different types of like genres and collaborations with different artists, and he does street performances. And the other thing that I really respect about him is that he's an independent artist.
Yeah.
So he's kind of created this whole like world and ecosystem outside of like the mainstream, record industry, which is super hard to do. So
that is amazing. Well, thank you for putting me on him, because
absolutely
I'm gonna go listen to all of his other songs now.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this reaction, hit it with a like, and you know what to do. If you really want to support the channel, give it a sub. We appreciate you for tapping in regardless. I want to give another special thanks for joining us today. It's always fun to get some new, pretty faces in these
Well, thank you.
besides my regular, partner Chase over there, you know what I mean? Brighten it up a little bit. So thanks for tapping in, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.